Then let's start with one topic. The migration of the experimental account to our own AWS account is in progress. As usual, there's a lot of fun with domains and DNS, but at least the bubble part is working. So this is our AWS account. Credentials are also in Passvault, and yeah, well, as you see, there is not really that much to see at the moment because I just had to destroy the landscape again and set it up from scratch, but this should work fine. The only problem or the biggest challenge was the correct permissions for the Bootstrap user. So this is the Bootstrap user that we use for Bubble. So here we have somewhere, here we are. Here we have the credentials, which we pass to Bubble. Permissions was very tricky because neither the Bubble documentation nor Will's amendments were sufficient. So Bubble says use IAM:* as permission, but this would be very broad. Then you can basically escalate your permissions. So instead, we try to add, for at least for IAM, each required permission individually, which is quite a longer list, but with that, creation and destruction of the landscape works. What might be a bit challenging is the correct DNS setup, because this is now spread across 2 providers. So here we have our, what is this? Main DNS zone with the different namespaces. And yeah, this one is wrong. I think I can delete it already. That was... yeah, the rest will then be here in Route 53, automatically created by Bubble. And honestly, I cannot yet tell if things work as intended, but we can ask Carson for assistance here. So they also managed to get this running somehow. Yeah. What is then still left to do is still one environment which has not been migrated. This is the Greengrass one. Yeah, 3 years ago. This one is used for the stem cell validation pipeline. So somewhere around here, I think for this one, stem cell miner. And it is also used to upload BOSH logs from failed BOSH deploy jobs. So if a release is updated and for example here, if a release is updated and the CF deployment fails, then there is a nice feature I forgot to show in our tech session. This is retrieve BOSH logs. So here, and these are then put into a GCS bucket for later analysis, because the BOSH environment is torn down again. So yeah, okay. So Greengrass also needs to be migrated, and that should then really be the last one. But yeah, who knows? Okay, there is still a red validate certificate job, but this is only for this specific environment, which I think Carson wanted to delete. It's an old Concourse instance, which is not in use anymore. Everything, there are no alerts for any other certificates. Yeah, so we wanted to do a cleanup of the Relent Envs account as good as possible, but this is also more a task for Dave and Carson, because they should now know which environments they no longer need. Yeah, and then we carefully can remove unneeded stuff one by one. Good. Yeah, for our main mission, I think there is no update. At least I didn't see any changes here in the single build pack issues for the CF Linux FS4 update. So, yeah, nothing new here.
Would we see it somewhere in one of the pipelines when a build pack is updated? Without, I mean, I could imagine the tickets on the build pack release, they are not really monitored.
Yeah, they're maybe not so well monitored. So what we see is, let me pick an older one. Smoke tests. You mean I'm looking for one before release. I think we should see here if there are new build pack versions coming in. Yeah. Yes, of course. When there is a new build pack release and it makes it through the full CF deployment pipeline and validation, we would see it here. Yeah, and then we can.
Yeah.
Of course, it's just a new version. It doesn't tell if it's FS4 or not.
Of course, but then there's at least a trigger that it makes sense to look
for that.
into.
We have.
Right, we have the experimental
this
cuts.
one. This one is flaky, but here we see which of the build packs do not yet support, or which of the 6 remaining build packs do not yet support FS4. Yeah.
PHP Ruby is also still inside, right? I don't see
static, yes.
Ruby, yeah, it's there. Okay.
It is there, yeah.
So no news. Yeah, this one becomes tricky. I have no idea what to do.
Yeah.
So at a certain point in time, we need then to, let's say, either announce that certain build packs might not make it anymore to CF Linux FS4 or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, not much we can do in this. Yeah, here. There's one more thing which we may have to delegate to the routing team. Here's a new change in CF deployment. So here they are adding the routing API as registering the routing API in the Go router. So don't get confused. Yeah. So this is then pointing to the cloud controller nodes, and on that we have a routing API process running. And since this change, the Bosch backup and recovery tests are very flaky, and they fail in one router group test case, where a router group is created, forgot before or after the backup, and then they do the restore and check if the group is there again or something. So I got it green only once, but it is failing really very often, and it looks like Yeah, the routing process is not responding, and then you get a 502 when you try to call the registered URL, something like this. So I notified the networking team in its Slack channel, but so far no reaction. Yeah, I mean, it's really succeeding very rarely, and this may block further future commits, so they won't make it to the end. But I really can't see anything that suspicious here.
In the worst case, we would need to revert this commit, right?
In the worst case, if it's really blocking everything and we don't get anything green again, then yes. But I also notified René, and well, if everyone is already in Christmas holidays, then yeah.
Yeah, I guess there won't be any releases between now and next year.
If no one
right?
needs an urgent release, it is fine. But if someone comes crying, we need a new release because of this and that, this may block. Yeah, okay. Yeah, good. So, okay, setup is at least green. Okay, so I will try to finish this tomorrow, the AWS migration. Anything from your side?
No, I just had, again, somebody knows about build packs, but yeah, if at all, then it would be Carson or Dave, but so no.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll notify the two about the follow-up activities we expect from them, and yeah.
I think the next bigger thing is then when we try to find a new setup for the concourse. But I would first play around with the existing concourse and for runtime interfaces, and when we have seen it, then we can say, okay, let's do the migration or whatever is the next good step.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to do it, but this is something we can also discuss internally first, and then
okay,
with Carson and Dave that they are not surprised when suddenly pipelines disappear or whatever. We will see.
Okay. Yeah, good. If there is nothing more,
then I guess we can close, right?
Then we can close early today. And yeah, see you tomorrow.
Sure.
Okay.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.